Okay, so there's a whole lot to look at on the table right now. This is all coming from that one HP printer. So I'm just gonna bring you around the table and talk about what I was able to get. Okay, so this is just so you can see a full spread of everything I was able to get. And we can go left to right from the back and into the front. So if you need sheet plastic, I'll give you an example. Pick this up, clip the backs off, and then you can put this on your CNC and cut whatever shape you want. But printers will always have tons of plastic on it if you need plastic. So we got black, what I would consider you can turn into small sheets. Then you got your mill plastic. Now, when I say mill, I can run this through a shredder and mill it down. Next up, what we're looking at is some white, I would consider good for milling plastic, some light gray, and one clear piece. Now, this container has all the gears in it, and I'm gonna film that in a second when I can get it in jars so you can see how many gears I got. Tons of gears in there. We also have some sheet metal, and some of this sheet metal is already sized for the motor, so I may keep some, may not. Lots of ribbon. Now, I took this ribbon off of some, but when we go through the components, there's still some ribbon attached because I may use the components, I may not. Of course, your ink cartridges, which we have here. Now, sometimes you can find the sponges, and I'm not sure exactly what material it's made out of, that absorbs the ink. If you need it, it's there, but as you can see, ink is here. I'm just going to toss it. I just wanted to show you guys what it is. It also has the ribbon that goes on the back of the carriage for the printer head. Even some cork material that could be used. Alright, also found a little button battery, or what you would say, I forget what this is called. This one is a, let me see, 2032. Say you need one for your desktop computer, there's one there, or Nintendo Wii, you got one. Extra wires, of course. Now, into what you could sell component-wise from the printer. First of all, you got your motherboard here. Everything about the printer is off of here. Now, I would have took this Wi-Fi card off, but it's soldered into the board, so I have no need for it. So I probably, if I did sell this, would sell it as a whole board. Then you have, I believe this is the printer head board. In its state right now, I kind of damaged the ribbons where the ink sensors sit, so I couldn't sell this. But if you remove the components and capacitors in here, then this would work. So that's what this is. Okay, and so now those two boards, and this is the power on, power off board right here. So this can be used, as an on-off switch, essentially. But like I said, these will be repair parts for this particular printer. Most people throw them away, but people who actually do component projects might want to solder off some of these resistors, transistors, chips, connectors, etc. These are a bunch of sensors. Now, I've used these in several projects, and depending on what goes in between them will cut the switch on or off. So these could be useful for me. So I left some ribbons connected to that. Also a speaker, and just a mini speaker was in the printer. The front panel bezel sensor. So I guess in this printer the buttons were on the outside. So as you can see here, the buttons are on the outside. So my focus is just going all over the place. I need to change my focus setting. Okay, that should be better. Now I have it on zone focus. My focus was jumping all over the place. Okay, so these are just some of the components I've had. Now, I've also left a ribbon connected to this guy right here, and this is your light bar. Now, I wouldn't connect the ribbon if I had like a simplified lead to power it, but these little ribbons have the connectors to power it. So if I want to find what powers it and the voltage and stuff, I could use this as a lighting bar. I could just use that lighting bar. Now, once again, those sensors use stuff like this. This is just like a little timing disc. It lets the sensor know what position you're in. So let me see if I can get that into focus. There it is. But I don't need it. You could use it. This would be a component I would sell. Now this is a power supply for the printer. Now if you needed a power supply, if the voltage matches for what you need, you could use it. Of course, an LCD. Most of these are standardized, so I will figure out what board this is, if it's using a cell phone or a little handheld gaming console, if it could be used and repurpose this LCD. We also have some rods, and I ended up getting 5 in this set. Oh, and I forgot to talk about the motors. 5 motors and 5 rods. Okay, 2 same general size, I would say small size motors, and these are even smaller. So we ended up with 5 motors in this one printer. That's awesome. 5 separate motors, 2 with worm gears on them. Back to the rods, I kept some of the rollers and gears on them, because if it's already set up, I don't have to add a gear or find a gear to make these things turn. And I'll probably end up using some of these on my tumbler build. And last but definitely not least, we have panes of glass. So this printer came with 2 panes, a small pane and a large pane. All right, so before I close this video out, let me take these 3 containers in the back, and I'm gonna get those screws and gears, and so you can see how many I actually collected. Okay, so for this teardown, I basically use all basic tools, flathead and Phillips head. This particular printer here didn't require Phillips so much, but it did require these 2 tools, and I got these from Harbor Freight. It's basically like your computer micro set, and it was all star bits that I used. So I used nothing but these star bits, okay? But the ratcheting set definitely helped save my wrist. And this is the rest of what was there. So tons of screws, also tons of springs here. We've also got various clips, and tons of gears. So with a lot of the electronic breakdowns, especially with moving parts, you're going to get gears. As I said before, when I looked over the electronic parts, an LCD, and this usually is universal. Some carbon weights. These are not magnetic, but they are weights. Smaller rods, okay? It's a 2032 battery. And also it comes with this, I believe it's some sort of ABS sheet. And there was 2 in there, so you could use this material and put it on a laser. But these are all the components. Once again, I was able to tear down various motors, electronics, metal, rods, electronic ribbons. And these are sold online, but you know, you use what you need for your projects and sell the rest. And to say, for example, pack a motherboard this size, you can put it in an envelope with bubble wrap, and it doesn't take much to ship something like that. So you also got your plastic for milling, white, gray, and also black. And you have your bigger sheets, which you can clip and use on a CNC and cut into panels. And so that is just one printer, and it's so much that you get from that one printer. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. We got more electronics to tear down next week, and the full video will be live, but also there will be a short abbreviated video of this teardown on my channel. Guys, enjoy your weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.